Very good morning, friends. We are going to begin with our area of revision for mathematics. Okay, and in maths, like you all know, is going to take 40% of your weightage in this paper. Now we are going to start with some crucial topics for today, which is time value of money, permutations and combinations. These two are the major areas first that I would say, followed by sequence and series, which is AP and GP, and then we will touch upon equations. Okay, the other topics like ratios, logarithms, all those topics we can discuss it in the next lot. Okay, because they are going to take a relatively lesser volume in terms of your syllabus coverage, in terms of your weightage, right? So first we start with time value of money. A very crucial topic, friends. Now in this we are going to split this topic into predominantly three parts: simple interest, compound interest, annuities, and you have some other miscellaneous areas, but predominantly it is the three parts: simple interest, compound interest, and annuities. Now here the crux is to remember and understand the formulae. So first, simple interest. Now the idea behind simple interest is the interest gets calculated for every year on the fixed principal. Okay, so how to calculate your interest in case of simple interest? Interest is equal to principal into number of years into R by 100, or otherwise I can write it as P into N into I, where I is nothing but R by 100. Okay, where N is the number of years and interest is given at rate of interest per annum. Next, if you want to calculate the amount, which is the maturity value of the principal, then in that case we call it as principal plus interest will give you the value of the amount under simple interest, right? This is part number 1. Part number 2, compound interest. Now compound interest is given as, 1 minute, friends. Okay, so coming back to compound interest. Now under compound interest, the interest gets calculated or accumulated on the increasing principal every year. Okay, accumulating principal every year, where the principal amount gets added by the interest of each year, right? So here the compound interest formula we are going to arrive at as amount or future value is equal to, okay, amount is otherwise known as the future value or maturity value. Any term that they use, please don't get confused. Amount is equal to principal into 1 plus R by 100 to the whole power n, or principal into 1 plus I the whole power n, right? Now friends, remember P or principal is otherwise known as the present value and amount is known as the future value. Okay, these are alternative terms that might be given in the question, to so don't get confused. Principal is otherwise called as your present value, and amount or your maturity value, amount, future value all mean the same, right? Now in case, very important point to remember is the rate of interest is always given at per annum. Okay, now if they give the question saying that it is compounded quarterly, when it is compounded quarterly, the rate of interest gets divided by 4 and n gets multiplied by 4. Number of years gets multiplied by 4. Okay, if it is number of years. However, if they have given number of installments or number of periods, something like that, if they have given, then use the same n. If if they give n as the number of years, it is always multiplied by 4. Similarly, if it is compounded half yearly, r by 2, n into 2. Compounded monthly means r by 12 and n into 12. So these are the points that you will overall remember when it comes to compound interest. Clear so far, friends? Right? Okay. Moving further, we are going to have the next area of discussion, very important topic again, annuities. So what are annuities? Annuities are nothing but periodic payments or monthly payments, periodic payments, monthly or annual, whatever is the timeline, paid as installments towards a particular value. Okay. Now annuities, you have formula for two types of annuity. When it is annuity due, okay, and annuity regular. Okay. Now first let's go to the annuity due concept, or in other words, where your annuity is going to be paid or the installment is going to be paid at the end of each period. Okay. So annuity at end of each period. Okay, where the installment is paid at the end of each period. Now how to find out your value of present value or future value? Okay, 1 minute, friends. Yeah, so we start with first annuity at the end of each period, which is otherwise called as annuity regular. Okay, which is otherwise your annuity regular. Now formula is the future value of annuity regular is given as annuity amount A into 1 plus I the whole power n minus 1 divided by I. Right? Right, friends? So where f future value is the amount or the value that is going to be fetched at the end of the period. A indicates your annuity amount or your installment value. Okay, and I is nothing but R by 100. Whereas if it is going to be for annuity due, then the future value is given as, yes friends, so what is the concept of the annuity due? Under annuity due, what happens? Your future value gets increased by one more installment because the installment is starting at the beginning of the period itself. So A into 1 plus I the whole power n minus 1 by I into 1 plus I into 1 plus I. Right? Yes, so this is your future value calculation. Now, if they ask you to calculate the present value of annuity, the present value of annuity. So what does that present value indicate? It indicates today's value of all the annuities put together, of all the installments put together, what will be the value today. So how to calculate the value today? Yes? Can anyone tell me how to calculate the value today? Yes, friends. Go ahead. Now for present value, friends, we need not have any larger level thinking, etc. Let's keep it very simple. Present value is nothing but, okay, future value divided by 1 plus I to the whole power n. In other words, we are using the compound interest formula, where we write future value is equal to present value into 1 plus I the whole power n. We are just putting the table, the equation on the other side. So once you find out your future value of annuity from the previous formula, okay, once you find out your future value of annuity, be it regular or due, from the previous formula, you can convert it to present value just by applying this particular rule. Okay, now you have to be very careful in the question whether they are asking you to use present value or future value. Okay, if they are indicating the amount as on today, then it indicates a present value. Say for example, a loan borrowed, some invested, all these indicate present value. Whereas if they are indicating the amount which is going to be receivable or payable after a particular period, then it becomes the future value, like the amount to be repaid or the total amount of returns, or all these amounts indicate your future value. Clear, friends? So this is about annuities. Any doubts? Can I move on? Can I have a yes or no from the group?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. Now, further, we have the last two concepts, sinking fund. Now, what is sinking fund? Sinking fund is a reserve that is created for the purpose of investment in an asset at a later period. So sinking fund acts as a concept similar to your present value and future value. You need not think too much. Remember, your fund to be created is for the future value. Okay, right? So remember this particular concept when you are using a sinking fund. And when it comes to depreciation, okay, your formula is going to be value of asset is equal to, or written down value of asset is equal to cost into 1 minus I, or I here becomes your rate of depreciation, percentage of depreciation per annum. Instead of 1 plus I, we are going to do 1 minus I the whole power n. Now this written down value will be equated to your book value or scrap value, depending on what the question asks you. Okay, so this is your formula for depreciation. Right? Clear, friends?
Yes, ma'am.
And the last area of discussion is your effective rate of interest in case of compound interest. What is effective rate of interest? It is nothing but the annual rate, okay, percentage per annum, when interest is compounded quarterly or half yearly or monthly, etc. So whenever you have compounding, then what is your effective rate is arrived as effective rate is equal to 1 plus I the whole power n minus 1. Okay, 1 plus I the whole power n minus 1. Now where I is your interest rate, actual interest rate, Now as usual, divided by 4 if it is for quarterly, divided by 2 if it is for half yearly, okay, and divided by 12 if it is monthly. And n is nothing but the number of periods. So again, if it is quarterly na into 4, in half yearly na into 2, monthly na into 12. Same rule. Clear? So this is your effective rate of interest formula. Is that clear, friends? Yes? So these are the set of formulae that you will remember when it comes to time value of money. Very, very simple chapter in terms of formulae to remember, friends. You just have the overall formula to be remembered in the chapter, and you need to understand which indicates present value, which indicates future value. If you understand this, then the rest of the chapter becomes very easy, and mainly ensure that you are thorough with these formulas, because this chapter is going to have enough weightage in your questioning, right? So now I have a set of questions which we will be discussing for practice. Let's be quick, and we will be solving these questions in the class right now for practice. Okay, you have a set of 12 questions right now, friends. Question number 1. If principal is 9,000 and amount is 13,500 for 5 years, then what is the rate of interest? Friends, if the question is silent as to what type of interest are they using, then always assume that it is a simple interest. The question will be silent when it is simple interest, whereas if they are going to speak about compound interest, they will be clearly telling you that the question relates to compound interest. Okay, you will have indication in the question that it is related to compound interest. So you don't have to worry about whether it is simple or compound. If the question is silent, always assume that it is simple interest. Clear? So question number 1. The amount is 13,500. Principal is 9,000. Now n is 5 years. Now for simple interest, we want to know what is the simple interest, which is 13,500 minus 9,000, which gives you 4,500. So 4,500 interest is equal to principal 9,000 into n 5 years into r by 100. Okay, go ahead, simplify and give me the value of r. So r is equal to 10% per annum. Okay, this is your answer for the first question. Moving on to the second one. A sum of money amounts to 6,200 in 2 years and 7,400 in 3 years. Again, the question is silent about the rate of about the interest. So again, we are going to assume what amount? We are going to assume that it is simple interest. Okay, so a sum of money amounts to 6,200 in 2 years. So principal into 2 years into r, I do not know, or let me take it as I, is equal to plus principal. This is the interest part plus principal, which gives you the total amount, because this is the total amount. Amount is equal to 6,200. Similarly, principal into 3 years into rate of interest plus principal is 7,400. So now, given this, you can simplify and solve. Please calculate the principal and the interest. So this is your answer, friends. Your principal is going to be 3800. By simplifying the equation, you get principal as 3800 and interest as 31.57 percentage. Right? Next, question number 3. A sum of money doubles itself in 10 years at compound interest. The number of years it would treble itself is. Now, this is a compound interest scenario. Yeah, so principal into 1 plus I the whole power 10 is equal to double the principal. The money doubles itself. So I can write this as 2p. Right? Okay, so 1 plus I the whole power 10 is equal to 2. Now you are going to simplify and find out what is I. Okay, use the calculator to arrive. Okay, in these cases the easier way is to take an arbitrary rate of interest and arrive at the rate of interest, calculate the rate of interest using your calculators directly. Then depending on whether you are getting the answer more or less, then you can assume for a lesser or higher rate of interest. Okay. So tell me the approximate value of I. Generally start with the rate of interest assumption as say 10 or 5. Then we can accordingly alter. So if I am going to assume 5, okay, just assume 5. If I assume 5, then it will be 1 plus 0.05 the whole power 10 equals, check whether it is coming to 2. You are getting should be getting somewhere around 1.628. So it is not coming. So it is less. Are you getting 1.628? Yes, Ansi, you're right. It should come somewhere between 7 and 8. So I'm assuming 7 next 0.07 the whole power 10. Let's check. You get somewhere 1.967. Okay, so I'm not going to 8 because these are questions that I arbitrarily picked on my own. So I am assuming a rate of interest of 7. So therefore I take that the rate of interest is 7% per annum, because it is almost coming equal to 1.967, which is almost equal to 2. So I take 7% as the value. Now the time that it will take to treble itself. So I want the amount to be trebled. 1 plus I the whole power 10 should be, sorry, the whole power n, I do not know n, should be 3 times the principal. So 1 plus I here is 7, which is 0.07. The whole power n should be equal to 3. Now check again using your calculator in how many years you get 3. Now you already know that for 10 you are going to get 2. So start with probably say 15 years. Then increase it to 20. If it is not coming, then check numbers in between. So let's check. So for 15 years you get something as 2.76. Let's see for 20 years. It's anyways going to be more. It's 3.86. So anyways 20 years is ruled out. It's 3.86. So 15 ku mela, let's assume 17 years. You get 3.15, which is also ruled out. So probably then your answer will be 16 years, where you get the equivalent as 2.95. So somewhere 16. So your answer is between 16 to 17 years. So you can choose the options approximately. Okay, so your answer is somewhere between 16 and 17 years. Done? Akshaya, can you assume P as 100? Yes, you can assume P as 100. 100 has to become 200 and in 10 years, and 100 becomes 300 in what number of years? That is the question. Even when you assume P as 100 and do, your answer will anyways be the same, because you are anyway going to have 200 by 100. Answer is going to be 2 here. So the solution is going to remain the same. I hope the question is clear, friends. Can I move on to the next? Yeah, I'm moving on. Question number 4. A country's population increases by 2% every year. Questions like this on population, investments, etc. are clear indications that they are all on compound interest, because they all increase on the increasing base. They all do not increase on a static base. So it is relating to compound interest. So it increases 2%. The number of years to have a population rise of 50% is. So every year population increases by 2%. Okay, so how do I take the rate? A rate is equal to 2% per annum. Okay, so I want the total increase to be 50%. So my amount minus principal should be 50%. In other words, you have to see where your 1 plus I to the whole power n becomes 50% or 0.5. Calculate for n. Okay. Answer. The increase is by 50%, friends. So remember this, I'm sorry. Yeah, the increase is by 50%, which indicates that it has to be 50% more than the current value. So 1 plus 50%, 1 plus 0.5. That is why I am taking it as 0.5 plus 1. Now calculate. So you will get somewhere between 20 and 21. So your answer, you can take it as between 20 and 21 years approximately. Are you getting this, friends? Yeah, 21, 22. I'm sorry. 21, 22. Yes, 21, 22 will be your calculation. Approximately 21 to 22 years. Next question. Question number 5. Amount is 1000, N is 2 years, R 6% per annum, compound interest payable half yearly, which means it is compounded half yearly. Then the principal is. So P into 1 plus R by 100, the whole power N is equal to A, where A is 1000, N is 2, N is 2, but since it is compounded half yearly, N will become 2 into 2, which is 4. And rate of interest will become 6 by 2, which is 3. Go ahead, calculate and give me the answer. Answers, please. Assume others are also getting this answer. So I assume all of you have got this answer, where principal is 888 rupees or 889 depending on your approximations. Sixth, the effective rate of interest for 7% per annum nominal rate compounded quarterly. So what is the formula for effective rate of interest? 1 plus I the whole power n minus 1, where I here is 7% compounded quarterly, so divided by 4, which 7% divided by 4, which gives you 1.75, and n is 4. Okay, because it is quarterly, 1 into 4, n is 4. So 1 plus 0.0175 the whole power 4 minus 1. You get 0.0718.
Huh?
7.18% approximately. 7.18% approximately. Right, friends? Moving on to question number 7. The difference between compound interest and simple interest on a certain sum invested at 3 years at 6% for 6% per annum is 110.16. So, the difference between simple interest and compound interest. Where simple interest is given as P into N is how many years? 3 years at 6%. Compound interest is P into 1 plus R by 100 the whole cube minus P. Because this formula is for amount, so I have to subtract the principal to get the compound interest portion. So now compound interest minus simple interest. Always remember, for the first year simple interest and compound interest will remain the same. Second year onwards, compound interest will always be higher than the simple interest. So compound interest minus simple interest is 110.16. Okay. Now go ahead, simplify and find out the principal. So the principal is approximately 10,000 rupees. Or you will get exactly if you are taking the decimals in full. So your answer is 10,000. Next, question number 8. The present value of annuity at 3,000 rupees at 15 years 4.5% per annum is. So how to calculate present value, friends? First find out the future value of annuity, then apply present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus I the whole power n. Go ahead, please calculate and give me the answer. If nothing is mentioned, please assume it is an annuity regular. Future value is given as 3,000. Okay. So 3,000 is the installment into 1 plus I, which is 4.5%. Whole power n 15 minus 1 divided by I. Now once you find out the future value, present value is equal to future value divided by 1 plus I the whole power n. 32,218 or 32,219. Ensure you are working with at least 3 decimals, friends. Don't work with 1 or 2 decimals alone, you might not get the accurate answers. Question number 9. A loan of 10,000 rupees is to be repaid in 30 annual installments. The amount of each installment at 4% per annum is. A loan has to be repaid in 30 installments. So whenever I say a loan, the loan borrowed amount, is it the present value or future value? This indicates the present value. So the present value is 10,000. Okay, and your rate of interest is 4% to be repaid in 30 annual installments. Go ahead, keep the points in mind and calculate the annuity amount. Present value is 10,000. Number of installments is 30. Rate of interest is given at 4% per annum. So before you can apply the annuity formula, first convert it to future value, then calculate your installment. So future value will be equal to 10,000 into 1 plus 0.04 and then find out your annuity value. Answers please. So the amount of annuity is 578.32 or 33 approximately. Next, 10th question. Mr. X borrows 20,000 on condition of repaying it with interest at 5% as annual installment of rupees 2,000. So 20,000 here is the borrowing amount, which indicates the present value. The annuity amount is also given to you. Interest is 5%. The number of years to pay off the debt is, you need to calculate N. You need to calculate N. Okay. So I am not doing the question right now. I hope the pattern is very clear. I am just explaining the question to you. The present value is 20,000. You need to take it as future value. Then calculate N based on interest at 5% and installment at 2,000. You will not be able to calculate future value directly without N. So take the formula as it is. Okay. And then calculate your number of years. Okay. So let me give you the expression of the formula alone. Yeah. So I am giving you the formula and the procedure. So the future value is going to be present value, which is 20,000 into 1 plus I. I is what? 5%, right? So 1 plus 0.05 the whole power N. Okay. Now we know that annuity formula is given as future value is equal to annuity 2000 into 1.05 the whole power N minus 1 divided by I. Okay. So now I can equate this. So I can write it as 20,000 into 1.05 the whole power N is equal to 2,000 into 1.05 the whole power n minus 1 divided by 0.05. So this will be your entire equation. Simplify and solve for n. You will get your answer. I am not getting into the details. I hope you can solve on your own. Please take down the hints if you want to.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you.
Can I continue, friends? Question 11. The amount of annuity after 5 years at 10% per annum is 50,000. So, after 5 years, the amount is 50,000, which indicates that this is future value. The future value is 50,000, 10% per annum, n is 5, and you can calculate the annuity value. Simple question. And question number 12. A machine depreciates at 10% per annum. Cost is 52,000 and scrap is 20,000. The number of years is. Now for a machinery, when you want to calculate the depreciation or the value, the scrap value should be equated as the book value here. So 20,000 is equal to cost 52,000 into 1 minus I. I is 10%, so 0.10 the whole power n. Okay, so 52,000 0.90 the whole power n. Simplify and solve for n. You will get your answer in the number of years. Right? Take down the questions and you can practice them for your reference. Am I clear, friends? Any doubts? I think someone has joined. No one. Okay. Any doubts so far in time value of money chapter, friends? So these are some questions that I have assortedly picked from your patterns of questions that are being tested. So this covers most of your testing patterns. So with this we complete your chapter on time value of money. Any doubts in this chapter? Right. So if you're clear with this, we move on to the next topic, which is again an important area of discussion: permutations and combinations. Okay, so let's quickly recap. Permutation. Permutation indicates the arrangement of a set of objects. Okay, it indicates the arrangement which is given as NPR, expressed as n factorial by n minus r the whole factorial. N minus r the whole factorial. Okay, now certain basic points to remember. First, if you are speaking about arrangement of n items directly, which means, say for example, I have 3 people standing in a row. The number of ways in which 3 people can arrange is given as NPN, which can otherwise be indicated as n factorial, because NPN is nothing but n factorial by 0 factorial 0 factorial always amounts to 1. Therefore, the answer will be n factorial. Whereas, if it is arrangement of r items out of n, so I have 6 people, of which I need to arrange 3 people. So then I can write it as NPR. So 6P3. Okay. So if they give you directly the number of arrangements of 6 letters, then answer is directly n factorial. You need not even do NPN, etc. Answer will be n factorial. And to recap, what is factorial? Factorial is nothing but n factorial is given as 1 into 2 into so on till n. Right? Third, when you have repetition of items. So when you have items which are getting repeated, say for example, in a set of letters, if there are 2 letters which are repeated, then the repetition has to be ignored or divided. So in that case, your answer will be, your value will be number of ways n factorial divided by number of repetitions factorial. Okay, so if there are say 5 letters of which 2 are repeated, then it will become 5 factorial divided by 2 factorial, so on and so forth. How many ever repetitions you have, that many denominators will keep getting increased. Next rule, in case of a circular permutation, arrangement in a circle, so how many permutations we have for arrangement in a circle? N minus 1 the whole factorial. N minus 1 the whole factorial. And remember, if it is arrangement in a circle without repetition, where they indicate that the both clockwise and anti-clockwise directions are not going to be considered, or in other words, where 2 people or 2 items do not repeat against each other, in that case your answer will be n minus 1 factorial divided by 2. Okay, so this is the predominant formulae that you will remember about permutations. And certain quick hints. What is NPN? NPN is n factorial, like I mentioned. NP naught is n factorial divided by n minus 0 factorial, so which gives n factorial by n factorial. Answer is 1. Okay, NPN is n factorial and NP naught is 1. Right, friends? So this is your basic rules of permutation. Can I continue? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am.
Right. So I move on to the basic rules of combinations. Now combinations indicates selection. Okay, combination indicates selection. I want to know in how many ways I can select a set of people. Okay, now selection is given by NCR, which is n factorial by r factorial into n minus r the whole factorial. Okay. Now simple rules. NCN is equal to n factorial by n factorial into 0 factorial. So answer is 1. Similarly, NC1 is equal to n NC naught is equal to n factorial by n factorial into again 0 factorial, you get answer is 1. So remember, if I have question like 5C3, now the gap is 2, will be equal to 5C2. Okay, similarly if I have 8C5 will be equal to 8C3. Okay, so can you tell me what will be 10C6 equal to? 10 minus 6, the gap is 4, so 10C6 can be equated to 10C4. So I can write this as NCR is equal to NCN minus R. Okay, NCR is equal to NCN minus R. Okay, so these are certain basic rules for you to remember under combinations. Most important point under permutation and combination is you just have to make sure that you are understanding the question whether it is asking about selection or arrangement. When it is asking you to pick or choose, then it is selection. When it is asking you to arrange, it is a clear case of arrangement. Arranged, seated, standing in a line, இது எல்லாம் questions on arrangement. Okay, selection, chosen, picked, okay, taken, இது எல்லாமே selection, which indicates your combinations. Right, so these are the basic rules of permutation and combinations. Can we move on to some practice questions? Yes, friends? Okay, so I move on to practice questions. Question number 1. The number of ways in which the letters of the word combination can be rearranged is. So they are speaking about rearrange, arrangement. Arrangement means permutation here. Okay, so now combinations. How many letters we have? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 letters, which indicates that 11 letters can arrange themselves in 11 factorial ways, divided by repetitions. How many repetitions we have? We have an O that is getting repeated twice, I that is getting repeated twice, and N that is getting repeated twice. So 3 letters are getting repeated. So 2 factorial for O, 2 factorial for I, and 2 factorial for N. This is your final answer. Second question. The number of ways in which the letters combination can be rearranged with 3 consonants coming together, which means I want 3 consonants. So what are all the consonants? How many consonants we have here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. Okay, we have 6 consonants, of which 3 consonants should always come together. Now, whenever you have 3 items which are coming together, take them as a block. So 3 consonants together, apart from which I have how many more letters? I have 8 more letters. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So totally how many blocks? 8 plus 1, 9 blocks. So 9 blocks can arrange themselves in 9 factorial ways into this 3 letters can arrange themselves in how many ways? 3 factorial ways. The whole divided by, you have repetitions which has to be removed, which will be taken as again 2 factorial into 2 factorial into 2 factorial for the repetitions. Am I clear, friends? Any doubts? Okay, so whenever you are having coming together, arranged together, take them as a single block. Okay, consider that as a block and consider remaining units as the other blocks. So you have totally here 8 plus 1 block, so totally 9 blocks, 9 factorial. Into within that block you have 3 letters which can interchange, so 3 factorial base. Moving on to the third question. In a class of 12, the number of ways of securing first, second and third position is. Again, here it is about the positions. It is about the 3 positions. So, first, second and third position. Now, first position, how many ways we have? I have class of 12 people, of which one person alone can come in the first position. Now, so I am using the letter C. Why C I am using? Remember friends, here I am selecting the number of ways of securing first, second, third position. I am selecting one person for that position. So, it is selection 12C1. And second position, I have, now one person is already gone. So, I am left with 11 people, 11C1. And third position is left for 10 people. So, answer is 12 into 11 into 10. Okay. So, see the question clearly as to whether they are mentioning about repetition, arrangement or selection. Here it is about selection. Moving on to the fourth. The number of ways of forming a 4-digit number from 1, 2, 3, 4 greater than 2100. It is assumed, if nothing is mentioned, that the numbers will not be repeated. So, I have to form a number, 4-digit number greater than 2100. The numbers available are 1, 2, 3 and 4. So, now friends, can you tell me what are the number of ways? So, here for the first position, what are the numbers that are possible? Can I have 1? No. I can have 2 or 3 or 4. But remember, if I have 2, there is another restriction that is coming up. So, if I have 2, then the second position has to be, it cannot be 1. Sorry, it can be 1. Because the other two numbers are 3 and 4, which will be greater than 2100. So, it can be 1 or 3 or 4. Okay, 1 or 3 or 4. So, third and fourth position can take the balance. So, in this case, what happens friends? When you take 2100 as the restriction, remember that the numbers that are formed after anything greater than 2000 here will start from 2, 1 and so on. So, here 2, 1, 3, 4, 2, 1, 4, 3, any combination that you take will be greater than 2100. So, I can assume that the first position will be 2 and the second position, third position and fourth position can be any three numbers, the three numbers arranged in any order. So, here what will be the number of ways for number of numbers starting with 2? One into 3 numbers can arrange themselves in 3 factorial ways. So, answer is 6. Similarly, coming to the next, if the number starts with 3, again 1 into the balance will be how many? The balance again will be 3 factorial, which is 6. And similarly, if the number starts with 4, I will again have the balance 3 numbers. So, 3 factorial, which is 6. So, answer is 6 plus 6 plus 6, totally 18 ways. Totally 18 ways. Am I clear, friends? Moving on to question number 5. The number of ways of forming 4-digit number from 1, 2, 3, 4 divisible by 4. So what is the condition of divisibility by 4? The last two digits have to be divisible by 4. This last two digits has to be divisible by 4. So let's see what are all the numbers that we have in hand. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay. Now what are all the combinations in which it can be divisible by 4? 12. Then 13 is not divisible. 14 is not divisible. 21 not divisible. 23 not divisible. 24 is divisible. Then 31 illa 32 is divisible. 34 is not divisible. 41, 42, 43, none of it is divisible. So there are only 3 possible outcomes. Okay. So now if I take 3 possible outcomes, I have 3. 3C1, so 3 possible outcomes, 3. And the balance 2 numbers can be the other 2 numbers arranging themselves in any order. So into 2 factorial, which gives you 3 into 2, 6 ways. 3 into 2, 6 ways. Am I clear, friends? Okay. Moving on to the next, 6th question. 4 men and 5 women are seated in a circle so that 3 women are always seated together. Find the number of ways. So there are 3 particular women who are always going to be seated together. I have 4 men, 5 women, of which 3 of them are in a block. So if 3 of them are in a block, always seated together abdina, then I am left with how many people? I am left with balance 2 women. Okay, 1, 2, and then next 4 men. So totally 1 plus 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So totally 7 blocks which are seated in a circle. So for seating in a circle, the number of ways is going to be given as n minus 1 the whole factorial. So answer is 7 minus 1 the whole factorial into this 3 women can interchange themselves in 3 factorial ways. So answer is 6 factorial into 3 factorial. 6 factorial into 3 factorial. Right, friends? Am I clear? Any doubts? Okay, so I assume the silence is no doubts. 7th. A group of 2 men and 3 women are chosen from a group of 5 men and 4 women. X being excluded always. Mr. X being excluded. So, now I have 5 men from which I need to choose 3, and I need to choose 2. And I have 3 women from which I need to choose 4. Sorry, my bad. I have 4 women from which I need to choose 3. Now, in this 5 men, one person, Mr. X, is excluded always. So, ignore him from the list. If one is excluded always, if I ignore him from the list, I am left with 4 men from which I need to choose 2 men and 4 women from which I need to choose 3 women. Choosing is selection, so combinations, which gives you 4C2 into 4C3, and condition, therefore multiplication. 4C2 into 4C3. Because this one person is excluded always, I am removing him from the list. Clear, friends? And the last question. The number of words formed with 5 consonants and 3 vowels taking at least 2 vowels is. So 5 consonants and 3 vowels. Okay, number of words at least 2 vowels. I missed to mark this, please note, with 5 letters. Okay, 5 consonants and 3 vowels are there in total, of which I need to form a 5-letter word. Okay, minimum 2 vowels has to be there. So I can have either 2 vowels combination or 3 vowels combination. Now if I have 2 vowels, then the balance will be 3 consonants. Or if I have 3 vowels, the balance will be 2 consonants. So your number of ways is going to be 2 vowels out of 3. 3C2 into 5C3. 5 consonants, of which I need 3, plus 3C3, which is 3 consonants fully and 3 vowels fully and 2 consonants from the 5 consonants, into 5C2. Now this is the number of selection. Now friends, they are asking you the number of words to be formed. So number of words means when you form the word, you are not just going to select the letters, you are going to jumble the letters also, which means I need to select and arrange. So after you complete this, you are going to arrange the 5 letters in how many ways? 5 factorial ways. So your final answer will be 3C2 into 5C3 plus 3C3 into 5C2, the whole multiplied by 5 factorial, because these 5 letters can arrange themselves in 5 factorial ways. So remember, this is a question which combines both combination and permutation. You are selecting the letters first and then arranging them. Okay, so this is your answer to question number 8. Am I clear, friends? Devadarshini joining late. Okay. So this is your answer to question 8, with which we summarize some patterns on permutations and combinations. The best way to practice your permutation combination chapter is practice the questions from additional question bank in your study material. That will give you more support in case of permutations and combinations. We have discussed the answers also in the class. So please ensure to practice questions from additional question bank in your material, which will give you more confidence and practice for this chapter. Okay, remember the basic rules that we discussed in the class. Any doubts, friends? Right. So with this we cover two important topics, which is time value of money and permutations and combinations. We have completed. Take your break and we will resume after the break to cover the rest of the topics.